YouTube, what's good, family? It's MasoMoney back with another video. So, Lil OT, he looks like a good guy, but they saying that he died in the streets as a gangster. So we got to see what happened with Lil OT, the Canadian gangster. We got to see what happened in his lifestyle that ended up with him losing his life, all right? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to MasoMoney. We about to get straight into this video, Ski.
The death of rising Hamilton rapper Lil OT is one of the most mysterious that we've ever seen on this channel.
Oh, they got real video footage of him getting shot.
In the dead of night on February 9th, eerie footage from the Burlington Mall Center in Ontario started pouring in, reportedly showing the last seconds of Omar Niaz Muhammad. The odd thing about it, though, is the angles that were released seemed suspect in themselves. The person filming didn't even look like they knew a shooting happened because they were literally facing the crime and didn't flinch or drive away when the shooting went down. His death has brought much speculation about an intricate setup, and it only makes sense after watching this crazy footage that there was definitely something nefarious going on besides just the shooting. So this is why we got to get into the crazy backdoor that apparently took out the rising Hamilton rapper Lil OT right now, gang. But before we do, I'm gonna need you to do something for me, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run on this video. Make sure you check out the merch link in the description and hit that notification bell so whenever I post, y'all tune in and hit that like button. It helps the video go up. Let's get into this. Going from prison to blowing up in an international tour just to get gunned down in your own hometown in a suspicious backdoor shooting. This is the story of rising Hamilton's rapper Lil OT, who literally went from jail to going on tour, tapping in with huge artists like OGZ and seemingly everything that you could do right in the rap game, but then unfortunately met his demise when he was gunned down by some haters in his neighborhood. It's crazy how fast things can flip. The rising artist, who was born in the Hamilton area, had much speculation of whether or not he was some good kid that happened to just go wrong, but it seems like his past was a lot more intricate than that.
I was busy, like I had academic classes too, so I was busy, but I still, like, you know, you find like an hour a night to write a song or something. I would be doing roads a lot too in high school, so I would like drive and like listen to beats and try to write a thing, you know?
Damn, so when do you go to sleep, man?
Nah, I would be up all night sometimes.
Now, how did going to jail in 2020, 2022, and 2023 impact your career?
While many people were saying that he was just a smart kid and had advanced classes, it seems like he was in the streets at an early age. In 2020, he got into a crazy shootout that was reported on, and he even looked back and showed the damage to his car several years later. And this does not look like someone who was just a smart kid that's in the streets. This looks like a full crash dummy. While in high school, he would work all night on music and be on the road serving packs while also still pulling up to school. But unfortunately, he was locked up in jail when his motion really started hitting in the beginning of the pandemic, and then he was locked up from 2020 to 2022 and 2023. Ever since then, he was kind of getting a little bit of motion in the rap scene. Things would start really moving in the right direction though when he dropped his 14-song project Jamesville. The independent artist would literally reach number 4 on iTunes Canada, which was pretty unprecedented. And in 2023, his career looked like it was going to be going in a whole different direction. However, he barely had time to celebrate because that same year, a crazy incident would go down where his house was shot over 50 times in retaliation.
Earlier this morning at approximately 12:50 a.m., we received several 911 calls regarding a large disturbance.
Look, Lil OT don't look like a demon or a savage, but for somebody to shot your car up and then shot your house up 50 times, that don't mean that you just like somebody who just talking crazy. That mean he really probably was a problem in the streets. Like, he really doing shit. They don't do that just for words. That mean he was probably active, you know?
How many shots do you know how many shots were fired during this incident?
Yeah, at this point I can tell with great confidence that we recovered in excess of 80 casing.
The stolen black Honda Civic turned onto Wickham Avenue, a short dead-end street off of Beach Boulevard, and drove past house number 5. This is around 6:30 p.m. on November 14th, 2023, and at least 6 members of Muhammad's family were home, including Omar Niaz Muhammad, who also performs under the alias Lil OT. The dark sedan turned around, and as it drove past the house, house, the sounds of gunfire erupted. Bullets smashed through windows and walls, struck 2 vehicles parked out front, and lodged into rooms around the house. The family scrambled to take cover, and no one was hurt in the shooting. Assistant Crown Amber Lebchuk said, reading from an agreed statement of facts in the court last month, but the suspect vehicle fled south on Beach before police arrived. At the home, officers spoke with the family, who were unable to identify a suspect or a motive. In all, the police found at least 52 bullet holes, along with 45 shell casings, 35 from a .40 caliber and 10 from a 9mm. It appeared the 2 vehicles in the front window of the house were targeted. Around 11:30 that night, police found a Honda Civic, reported stolen in Toronto, parked on Barden and Queen Streets. 2 spent 9mm casings of the same make and model found
I'm sitting here thinking to myself like,
the shooting scene.
Damn, how'd that happen? I'm sitting here thinking like, look, OT do not look tough. But now that I really think about it, nigga, I don't even know what a Canadian gangster really look like. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, other places, you know what a gangster look like. I don't even know what a Canadian gangster looks like. So I guess it's low.
Were recovered at the base of the front windshield. More than 2 years later, Ahmed Isaac Hussein has admitted that he was the shooter. During his preliminary hearing last month, the Hamilton man pleaded guilty to discharging a firearm with intent to endanger the lives of unknown persons, as well as possessing a firearm while prohibited. Court ordered the 24-year-old already face a lifetime firearm bans imposed on March 2023 in an unrelated case. At the time of November 2023's shooting, Isaac Hassan was a target of an unrelated investigation that saw his phone and vehicle tracked. He was also the subject of a wiretap around that time. Isaac Hassan is among 3 men charged in that case. He's charged with first-degree murder, and the case remains before the courts. In the 2023 shooting, court heard that Isaac Hassan and Omar Niaz Muhammad used to be friends. Both were associated with the music industry performing rap. On February 27, 2024, several months after the Wickham Avenue drive-by shooting, police intercepted a call between Isaac Hassan and an unknown male, in which Hassan claims he's responsible for the shooting. Isaac Hassan spoke about, that kid used to be my dog, but then about them beefing. Yeah, he was having a party at his crib. His whole family and them were there. I pulled up, then shots at his crib. Bro, you can't make this up. These dudes are literally telling the police a word by word of what they did. And it's super crazy and almost like foreshadowing the fact that the person that tried to kill him the first time was someone that was very close with him. Right. But you're going to see throughout all this that the people that are trying to murk him the most are the people that are the closest. And that might just be what happened in the unfortunate incident this month. It's wild because shortly before he passed, he actually did one last interview where he seemed to actually tear up when thinking about his war stories and crazy shit that he's been through and shootouts and close calls. Little did he know that just a month later, he would end up getting killed himself. However, it seemed like he knew that there was some type of dark force or energy or just people around him that looked like they were closing in on him.
About certain shit I was going through, in certain cases, the challenges I had to go through, and different songs like War Stories, I'm talking about how losing my homie changed my life. And
this boy articulate.
You know, certain...
You don't even think he's savage. He is very articulate.
That's my favorite.
Wrong One's a banger still. Banger. Super banger. Share my plate with the Wrong Ones.
Wrong Ones, yes.
Right? Some real talk right there.
That's that real talk.
Yeah.
In his last several moves before his death, he ended up dropping a feature with Doobie and getting a lot of motion. Ended up on tour, linking up with OGZ and talking about it in an interview, and just dropping all around music and staying consistent. However, everything would change for the worse on February 9th, 2026. Okay. February 9th, 2026 at approximately 10 p.m. Officers attended the parking lot of 777 Guelph Line in response to a male that had been shot. The male was transported to hospital but succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased. The deceased was unfortunately identified as Omar Niaz Muhammad of Burlington. Police are searching for 2 suspects that fled in a white SUV. They haven't made any arrests, but they did release video of cars that seemingly followed his car pulling in. On top of that, someone that was there at the incident will go into detail with the news and talk about what they saw. Ross Hamilton was in a restaurant on Guelph Line in Burlington Monday night, but he says he heard the sound of 3 gunshots from the parking lot across the road at Burlington Center. When he went outside, he saw a man in dark clothing walking away from a white sedan. He said, There was some chaotic yelling, and the man got into the rear vehicle of a white SUV that fled. Hamilton crossed Guelph line while calling 911 and ran over to the white car. He says he found a man slouched over in the driver's seat, bleeding from what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the neck. He would try to do CPR, but unfortunately when police arrived, he was unresponsive. And this man was Lil OT, who unfortunately passed. Ever since his passing, there's been a lot of speculation, but it's pretty obvious that this was some type of setup, judging by the fact that the car that pulled up with him seemed to pull away right after with someone else being a getaway driver, but before this would pull up alongside him, and they would both park in that area. Someone would walk up to his car window, talk for a couple seconds, then fire multiple shots into the whip.
Crazy. He trying to trust people. And they got it on video. It's crazier part.
Striking him, then checking to see if he hit him, and then firing more shots. All of this was captured on another angle, which is also pretty suspicious if you really think about it, because it's weird that someone was just there filming everything that happened and had some type of weird reaction to everything going down. Unfortunately, there was a lot of dissing. People like YG, the Pressa associate, basically came out and was kind of dissing him right after. But it's kind of weird because in his interviews, it didn't really seem like he had an issue with him. And it didn't even really seem like he had an issue with people in Toronto in general. It seemed like he really had problems with these no-name crash outs out in Hamilton that were out here trying to murk him multiple times over. And if his best friend, who was once his homie, was literally willing to shoot up his house just 2 years ago, and people were willing to shoot up his car just 6 years ago, imagine what they'd be willing to do if they actually caught him in person. And unfortunately, we found out the hard way, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this shit. Real say shit. Y'all.
Let me know y'all thoughts about the Lil OT beef, man. He looked like a good guy, but it seemed like he may have been a villain, man. The way that they did him, they planned to get him. They hawked him down. They made 3-4 different attempts at his life. It's sad, bro. He went out super young too, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to MasoMoney, and watch another video. All right, family. I'll see y'all in the next one.